Bim! Guess what? It's news at 10 past 8. And we are live on YouTube every Thursday at 10 past 8 in the evening, looking at the week's news, and I give you an opinion on it, and you can agree, disagree, whatever. It's all about a discussion. You are more than welcome to join in the live chat if you feel that you need to, or alternatively, if you listen to this as a podcast, you can always comment when you get back to wherever you've come from, i.e. if you've been to work or listening in the car or anything like that. When you get a chance, comment in the comment section, or just give us a like, subscribe, etc. So what I normally do is look at the main news of the week, then we look at the other news of the week, and then we lighten things up a bit with a bit of funny stuff and stuff that's a bit more light-hearted or scary or whatever a little bit further on. Hi Angela, hope you're good as well. So yeah, we are about to crack on. So, hi T, here we go. The big news of the week, unsurprisingly, was the passing of Pope Francis, who had apparently been a very popular pope. I don't really follow religion, as you know, I'm a devout atheist. But still, this was definitely the main news of the week. And it's all very weird, isn't it? I had a great auntie who was basically bedridden. She couldn't get out of bed. She was still living in her own house and everything. And my parents, well, my mother and stepfather and my grandparents, they took turns at staying with her for a few days. And she never got out of bed or anything. Anyway, my mum and stepdad had done the night shift, and my grandma and granddad went in and relieved them, so they came home, and they're coming up the stairs, and there's banging on the door, front door. So they go downstairs, and it turns out that my late grandma had passed. Not late grandma, my great auntie had passed, Auntie Ethel, during the swap over. Now that's not unusual, she was 90 odd, but what was unusual was that when they went into the room, my grandma and granddad, in the morning, all the drawers and the wardrobe doors and every door was open, every drawer was open, and all the clothes were very neatly put in order and put together and all tidied up and everything. And it was almost like my great auntie knew that she was passing, but she wanted to make sure things were tidy before she did, and she'd found the strength to get out of bed, sort all this out, and then get back in bed and then peacefully pass away. Which brings me to Pope Francis. Easter Sunday, much to many people's surprise, Pope Francis delivers the Mass and an Easter message. Very frail in his wheelchair, but he even gets put on the Pope-mobile and driven around St. Peter's Square, St. Mark's Square, and everyone's like, wow, you know, he's been really ill, he's had double pneumonia, he's been in hospital for a considerable length of time, and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it was all very nice, if you like that kind of thing. A lot of people were very happy to see him, but he was a very old man, he was 88. Monday morning comes, Bank Holiday Monday, and the news breaks in the middle of the night that the Pope has passed away. And you're like, really? And I'm wondering if it's a similar kind of thing, got a new, because for Catholics, I'm pretty sure that Easter has more, what's the word I'm looking for? I think Easter is more important to Catholics than Christmas. I think Christmas has been pretty much taken over by, well, presents, and the Christmas message is kind of lost. But at Easter, the cross, the resurrection, all that kind of stuff is devoutly Christian. The egg is representing resurrection, although I'll never figured out why an egg has been resurrected. So maybe he wanted to get to that stage to do his final job for his boss, i.e. God, and do it on the most important day, and then my work here is done, and he'd sadly passed overnight. I mean, it's only theory, but it does seem very peculiar, and, like I say, reminiscent of my great auntie. On Tuesday the 22nd, he was laid in state, and then on Wednesday he was moved to the Basilica where people came to view and pay their respects. And today, thousands more have paid respects, and they're having to keep the doors open longer at night, which is like they did with the Queen, if you remember. So people who want to go and pay their respects can do. But of course, we live in 2025, so there are pillocks taking selfies and all that kind of nonsense as well. Live streaming on TikTok, apparently. I mean, it's just absolutely disgraceful, isn't it? Lack of respect. Now, if you're a regular viewer, or a subscriber or a podcaster or whatever, you'll know that I'm a devout atheist. Religion to me doesn't mean anything, but it doesn't mean there aren't good people or people who try and do good in positions of responsibility within religion, and I think the Pope was one of the better ones, because he certainly opened up a few doors for gay rights and things like that, which the Catholic Church has been very far behind compared to other churches. And he visited people, and he reminded me a lot of Pope John Paul II, who was the Pope when I was a youngster. Also seemed to be a decent guy as well. But anyway, he has passed, and respect must be shown. The Sunday is the day of the state funeral in Italy, and we will see. Anyway, let's say hello to Stephen LFC, Kelly, and Rollo. Rollo is back. Regular viewers from when we used to do this on a Sunday, but we moved it to a Thursday because Sundays I want to do other stuff on Sundays, and yeah, this takes up a lot of time, so we're going to do that. Anyway, now we'll have a quick look at other news, which of course features everyone's favourite presidents, Putin and Trump. I can't put them together at the minute, and also Zelensky as well. So Friday the 18th, Trump, who said he would end Ukraine war in a day, says he might have more important things to do if Russia and Ukraine upset him by not getting around the negotiating table. 2 UK citizens were killed in the cable car disaster, which we mentioned last week. That was a week ago now. It's unbelievable, isn't it, how time flies. Saturday the 19th, Putin declares an Easter truce, a 30-hour truce on Ukraine. And you're like, oh, that's nice. Zelensky says they've already broke it, and there's no truce. It's just words, nothing else. Oh, the egg is meant to represent the rolling of the stone that was moved on Easter morning, hence why you're supposed to roll eggs down a hill on Easter. Oh, thank you, Angela. There we go. You're now our religious correspondent. Sorry. I didn't even know I had a religious correspondent, but there you go then. Thousands hold protests for trans rights in London and other cities around the world, around the country even, over the court ruling that a woman is determined as a woman when they are born, and it's biological. Who knew? Anyway, lots of trans are taking high offence at this, which I just find ridiculous. Russia, no, what? USA and Iran say a meeting over nuclear stockpiles and nuclear technology in Iran is progressing well. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not Iran, who's been going on a long while with the nuclear weapons, if they're actually going to listen and not get any. Because if they get nuclear weapons and then they get stolen by someone else, i.e. terrorists, then we are in for a poo storm. Lots more poo later. Sunday the 20th. The deputy commander of the IDF, Israeli Defense Force, that killed 15 aid workers, including ambulance men, a fire truck, and they buried the bodies and the trucks in the ground in shallow graves in Gaza, have been fired. He's been fired, but the IDF are not admitting that they got it wrong. Now we've seen the video from the one of the guys who was sadly killed on his mobile phone. In the third or fourth vehicle, and you can see all the flashy lights on the vehicles and everything, and the IDF just opened fire on them. So yeah, unbelievable. Monday the 21st, the news of the Pope kind of swamped everything else out, so there's not a lot of other news. But the Defence Secretary in America, it seems to have had his wife in another group chat. Now, he was the Defence Secretary in America that allowed a journalist who Trump doesn't like to be in a group chat when they were talking about the strikes in Yemen, airstrikes, military strikes and everything. Turns out, in another group chat, his wife was there and a mate as well, a pal, who also got all the details as well, live as it was happening. Couldn't write it, could you? Tuesday the 22nd, the Prime Minister, right, all the front pages, everybody. It's the biggest news. Maybe this should have been the biggest news of the week. I mean, the Pope dying is, pretty big news, but this was bigger. I need to calm myself down for this. Our illustrious Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, to give him his full title, Tosser, said he now believes that a woman is a biological female. Who knew? The Prime Minister has realised that women are women. I mean, this is so glorious. I'm shocked, because for ages he said ladies can have penises. I sounded like Jeremy Clarkson then. For ages he said women could have penises. With the greatest penis in the world. But no, who knew? Women are biological. That's a change, isn't it? Then a forecast predicted that Trump's tariffs will hit one country harder than any other country. The USA. Who knew? The irony. Yeah. And then the government. Now, I've accused Wigan Council, Labour-run Wigan Council, of smoke and mirrors over the redevelopment of the town centre by building scaffolding and then doing nothing with it. And then they started building new scaffolding, and I said, is this not for the construction of the new Market Hall, but is this for an installation of smoke and mirrors to make it look like something's happening? Well, our national Labour government, led by the incredibly intelligent now, because the law said so, if you had a chance to sit down and interview Keir Starmer, what would you ask him? Why do you hate Britain so much? Why do you hate the British so much? Why do you hate old people, disabled people? And why do you listen to people who are absolutely idiots? Ed Miliband, for example. Anyway, it would be a very short interview. The government have said, are you ready? Now this is either going to be genius or it's going to be modified. Now, the thing with percentages and stuff, it can be massaged, can it, to give what you want across. But the government have said they are going to publish the race details of people who are committing crime in the UK, and that will include what the crimes are, whether they're sexual or whether they're violent, whether it's criminality regarding fraud, theft, all that kind of stuff. And it's going to be broken down now as well into the race of, or the religion or whatever of the people who are doing these crimes. Gangs. But will it? Because as I pointed out a while ago, if you watch the adverts for mainly, I don't know, beauty products, if you look at the bottom of the advert on the TV, there's a little text comes up and it says 84% of women agreed, and then you read a bit more, out of 73. So 84% of 73, and you're using that as validation for what you're on about. And it's like, no, it doesn't work like that. And then the other one, of course, is we got 30% of the vote at the last general election, so that's good. Yeah, but 70% didn't vote for you, so that's bad, but you won't tell us that bit. So I'm thinking smoke and mirrors with this. So it'll be interesting to see at the end of the year what these figures actually are. One's breath is not being held, but I will get some Windoline, because smoke makes havoc of mirrors. So just to clean the mirrors, then we might be able to see a clearer picture of what's going on. Wednesday the 23rd. Trump says he's disappointed that Zelensky would not recognise Crimea as Russian territory. Why the would he? Crimea was illegally taken by Russia before Zelensky was president. In fact, Zelensky was still a comedian. I don't know, well, he might have even been a comedian at the time, to be fair. He might have still been in college or university or whatever. And it's never been recognised by anyone. But the US would recognise and agree to give Russia land it's gained in the illegal war for a truce or a ceasefire, complete ceasefire. And I'm like, yeah, but you're just encouraging them. I mean, you know, look at what Keir Starmer's done. He gets in power, he immediately pays the rail workers a ridiculous amount in wage rises to end the strikes, the doctors a ridiculous amount, the teachers fairly ridiculous amount instantly. All this money's just come from nowhere, and all of a sudden we're paying all these people. Now we're getting teachers and doctors and rail workers wanting a similar pay deal this year as well. And the teachers have voted to go on strike. Or is it the doctors? Or is it the rail workers? Or is it all of them? So you give in to bully tactics, and it just encourages the bully more. So where's Trump coming from? Apart from, obviously, Putin, no matter what he says, is one of his BFFs. It feels like it anyway. But then giving the land, never mind Crimea, but then given the land that they've illegally took as well, it's just going to encourage him to do it again. Right, okay, we'll have a rest for a couple of years, let dust settle, we'll retrain our army, we'll get a load of kids who are not old enough to join the army trained up, and then we'll re-invade again, and we'll see if we can get some more. And ends up being in a similar situation to Gaza and Israel and Lebanon, where it's just a land grab every few years. Meanwhile, Trump backtracked on the China tariffs. CEOs of some of the biggest countries in America said that the tariffs would literally create empty shelves because the majority of stuff they buy now is from China. And there's also an IMF meeting where our illustrious Rachel from Accounts has gone as well. Oh, talk about being out of your depth. Unbelievable. Meanwhile, in Kashmir, a gunman killed 26 people, mainly targeting tourists, which again is horrific. And it turns out today, which is the 24th, India has closed the border to Pakistan whilst they try and take stock of what's occurred. Trump today says they are putting a lot of pressure on Russia. Ukraine say at least 12 dead in Kyiv after overnight strike from Russia. And also, Zelensky said the fact that we, Ukraine, are prepared to sit at a negotiation table after Russia has killed tens of thousands of our people, destroyed our infrastructure and everything, is enough for Trump just to accept that they're there. They don't have to do anything else, because they have technically been invaded. They are technically the people who've been wronged. And you've got to agree with Zelensky. A lot of stuff Zelensky said actually makes sense. Not all of it, but a lot of it. The Prime Minister, our illustrious Keir Starmer, has now figured out what a woman is. So good news. Says that £300 million has been put aside for offshore wind supply chains. £300 million for offshore wind that they have to turn off when it's not windy because there's no wind, and they turn off when it's too windy because there's too much wind. They need maintaining because they are massive towers in salt water in the middle of the sea. There's nothing remotely green or carbon neutral about the wind power, apart from the fact when they are actually generating, but they'll never recover the environmental damage of putting them in the first place, being made, being erected, being maintained. It just never happens. It's smoke and mirrors. Today was brought to you by Smoke and Mirrors. I did say smoking mirrors once, which just sounds weird. Imagine loads of mirrors just having a fag. Bit bonkers, wouldn't it? Anyway, we digress once again. We like to digress, though, to be fair. Do we? I don't know. Let's digress anyway. Let's look at some lighter stuff, some stuff that hasn't been either put in the news or has kind of slipped under the radar. It's just amusing. There's a few memes in here and a bit of poo as well. So there's a touching story. I should have thought about that before I said it. About some poo. But we'll get to that later. I accidentally swallowed some Scrabble tiles and now I'm experiencing constant vowel movements. The next trip to the bathroom could spell disaster. Love it. Oh, I'm going to get locked up for this one. It's okay to be white. The picture of a young kid drinking a Coke, I think it is, in a white t-shirt and white shorts, and he's obviously a white kid. And then someone said, "At least we forget, see you in 30 days. Steph will get banned for this." Because obviously we're not allowed to say stuff like that. Oh, yeah, be careful when you're walking around because there's poo everywhere. I told you there'd be more poo. And kids dress as poo and people... I assume it's a poo bear convention. It's not actual poo. It's poo. Anyway, more poo later on. Meanwhile, in Bolton, Crompton Place is being demolished for redevelopment. Sounds familiar. And there's a search to find partner for redevelopment of major Bolton town centre site is ongoing because no one wants to do it. Because the councils are all shit. We had developers in to do our demolition, which they did, and then they pulled out because there was no money to be made and the council were just rubbish. So yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? It's just coming to a town near you, demolition and wasteland for a considerable length of time. This is an interesting story. Emma Gibson was frozen as an embryo in 1992, was born in 20... Oh, it's a weather warning. Oh my god. Oh, cloudy, highs 14 to 16. Oh gosh, no, I'm going to melt. Was frozen as an embryo in 1992 and was born in 2017 to a mother who was born in 1991. Yeah, what? It's the longest known frozen human embryo to result in a successful birth, born in Tennessee. Emma Wren Gibson delivered the baby in 2017 and the medical director of the National Embryo Donation Centre is a result of an embryo originally frozen in 1992. The baby is, well, she's a lot older now, she's doing very well. Kelly's having a poo. Alright, wouldn't it be Rollo having a poo? Or Kelly? I'll tell you what, I'd have a poo if I was this guy. A man clings to the side of a helicopter as it flies off. It's some African wedding and they weren't letting him on the helicopter, so he hung on. He didn't fall to his death. The helicopter flew to where it was going. It was only a short trip, and when it landed he was immediately arrested. So that's how we know he didn't die, because he was arrested. Just tuned in as you started talking about poo. Ah, you're alright. There's more poo to come, don't worry. There's also some knobs as well. In fact, we've got some reservoir knobs. Reservoir knobs. Yeah, it's all the cabinets there walking along. Just annoying people left, right and centre, and in between as well. Meanwhile, Super Mario is named after a real-life businessman, Mario Segale, who was renting out a warehouse to Nintendo. After Nintendo fell far behind on the rent, Segale did not evict them, but gave them a second chance to come up with the money. Nintendo succeeded and named their main character after him. So if it hadn't been for that guy, he would have shut Nintendo down and we'd never have Mario or any Nintendo stuff. Because Nintendo originally were a card manufacturer. They did cards. And then they went into the electronic games market with the... I don't know if they brought anything out before they brought out the Game Watch, but they were the LCD ones where it just lit up the bit that you were on when you moved a character. The character didn't move, it just... That picture went out and the next picture came on, and that was the character, so it might be walking along or whatever. Dead simple games. And then from that they got onto the NES with Mattel, and then they dumped Mattel, and then they brought out the Super Nintendo, and then the Game Boy, and then literally the rest is history. Oh yeah, I forgot to say hi Lee as well, sorry. Hi Lee. It's highly amusing. Remember Draco and Ron from Harry Potter? This is them now. There's a picture of the kid who played Draco and the kid who played Ron Weasley. Never seen the films. And how they are now, which is basically Eminem and Ed Sheeran. Thank you. Meanwhile, Wendy's, the fast food restaurant, is receiving backlash for refusing to delete their tweet asking Jeff Bezos to send Katy Perry back into space. So Wendy's official account, the Wendy's fast food restaurant in America, and apparently over here as well, posted a tweet saying, "Can we send her back?" Which I think is pretty reasonable. And as I said last week, if the rocket that looks like a willy had exploded in the sky, then she would have got her wish of being a firework. Baby, I'm a firework. Too soon? Yeah. Absolutely unbelievable. I even pinched myself to make sure I wasn't dreaming. Diesel less than 120 a litre. That is amazing. That's Texaco for you. Always trying to cut prices. John Cleese. People without a sense of humour should not be allowed to decide what people with a sense of humour are allowed to laugh at. I absolutely agree with him. Meanwhile, this is impressive. Tiananmen Square. A Colombian protester single-handedly holds back an armoured water cannon truck using a homemade shield. I mean, talk about, balls of steel. And they've someone's nicknamed him in the comment of Captain South America. There's a picture there of a guy stood there, and it does look like a special effect from a movie. But he literally stopped. Poorly executed joke there. So, poorly. Yes, thank you. Now, if you're a regular viewer, you'll know that the only sport I follow is F1. I know most people don't like it, but I don't like football, rugby, cricket, tennis, snooker, darts, anything like that. I can't stand it. My current least favourite driver is Lewis Hamilton. Always has been. Even though I've got a model of him. Well, his car more than him, but he's got a yellow helmet. Which is, I've called him worse. Anyway, he's just not a nice person. He's a good driver, can't knock him for his driving, although a bit dirty at times. But this was a radio message from the weekend, which didn't get aired, but it's just brilliant. So Hamilton Radio. Hamilton asks, are we going to Plan B? Now, it's an Italian team. So he replies, the Italian on the other end of the radio says, C. So Hamilton goes, Plan C. And the guy goes, no, B. So then he goes, okay, Plan B then. And of course the Italian says, C. And Hamilton says, what the hell are you talking about, man? Which does sound very Hamiltonish. So yeah, I actually enjoyed that one. It was quite fun. And it was like, language differences, you've got to love them. But yeah, I can imagine it gets very confusing. They'll have to go for Plan 1, 2 and 3, won't they, from now on? Although that'd be more obvious, won't it? But anyway, yeah, made me laugh. This was when I found out the Pope had died, which was 48 minutes after it was published on Australian media. See there, 48 minutes, which was technically the middle of the night. It wasn't, but it was very early morning. I woke up, looked at my phone, see what time it was, had a look on Insta, and that was at the top of my page. And so that's where I found out that the Pope was no more. Scotland no more. Edinburgh no more. We've got a suitable person to take over, don't worry. I'll come to that in a bit. There's a tourist tradition of statue rubbing for luck and wishes. And some of them are rather questionable. So we'll have a look. We've got one in Wigan. It's a guy sat in a chair and he's got his legs crossed and his foot is kind of suspended in the air, and his foot is incredibly shiny because people rub his foot for luck. But around the world, slightly different. So you've got a Buddha type character there with his belly obviously being rubbed. You've got a bust here where I'm not sure what they've rubbed there, but yeah, there's a bust there of a woman. We've got a gentleman on a tomb by the looks of things, and his nether regions have been rubbed. We've got a plaque on a wall, and someone's been stroking a dog, so that's all shiny, and the rest of the plaque is quite unshiny, apart from what looks like a lady kissing a lady in the background, which is also moderately shiny as well. Then we've got, this is my personal favourite. God, why? It's basically a bronze statue of what looks like some kind of miner, maybe a gold miner or something. It could be in Australia because he's got a big hat on, but it's a guy, he's got no shirt on, he's got his shirt, he's kind of holding his arm like that, and he's got some kind of shovel or something in his other hand. He's bare chested, and they've rubbed his nipples, so his nipples are dead shine, but the rest of him's quite dull. I mean, rub a gold digger's nipples for luck, I don't know, new tradition. And then we've got the usual, which is the dog being stroked, but it does look cute, doesn't it? I don't know what's going on next to it. It looks like another statue's passed out. Maybe the dog has savaged someone. Maybe it saved, that looks like a woman in the background. Maybe the dog has saved the woman by killing the people who may have attacked the woman. And she's bent over, and then people are tapping the dog and rubbing the dog's nose because it's a good dog. This one is weird. Feet. I don't like feet, but someone, and this is, I mean, I was on about the foot before, but the foot is in a shoe in Wigan. Nip it down them gold mines. Hey. Guess what? I'm hungry. Bit nippy. Very good. Quickly. It was very quick. Not even very nice feet either. But anyways, the people have been rubbing the big toe, and someone's actually put what looks like nail varnish on the little toe. It's all very peculiar. And then this one, which is a football player who's Cristiano Ronaldo. Actually looks like him, unlike the one in the airport. It doesn't actually, it just looks like a guy. And the hands have been well rubbed, so I imagine people have a picture holding the hands. But also his gentleman's region has had a good old rub down as well. And then finally, of these, a dog that's looking in a well, and it looks like a woman's pouring oil in the well. It looks like a Just Stop Oil protester. But the dog is very shiny indeed, from its head pretty much down to its tail, and it's kind of got its two front paws up on the wall of the well. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And there you go. Statues that have been rubbed around the world. Study shows termites eat through wood twice as fast when listening to rock music. A study done in Florida found that termites exposed to rock music ate wood faster. However, they abandoned social responsibilities like taking care of the queen. The research indicated that the termites would consume more wood. The behaviour would endanger the colony because the termites neglected the other working duties, so they were getting down by chewing the wood. I like a cocktail every now and then, he lied. No, I would never have a cocktail, but I might try that one. It's got a pork pie wedged in the top of a pint on the edge, like a lemon, yeah. We found the perfect replacement for Pope Francis, someone who was respectful of all people, who doesn't say anything out of line, is very pure of thought, responsible, honest, trustworthy. Of course, I'm talking about Donald Trump. Obviously, this is a mock-up, but Trump declares himself new pope. No one knows more about poping than me, he said. He didn't say that, but if it did, you wouldn't be surprised, would you? Let's be honest. Now, last week, we had the tragedy of the penguin skeleton that was left at the side of a road. Poor little chap. Turned out it was a coat hanger for a kid's clothes, obviously, but you know, it was amusing. This week, sadly, cat. Didn't know cats required their own charging spots. Have you seen it yet? Do you know what it is yet? Do you know what it is? It's obviously a car. But when you turn it that way, it's a cat. Oh, that made me chuckle, that one. Quite a lot. Silence wasn't overly impressed. She thought I was going to stick a plug on her ass, but no, she was right. She was fine. She was okay. Now, fireworks. I didn't realise that you had to use different chemicals to get different colours in fireworks, as in different metals. It turns out, if you want blue, you've got to go for copper. Sodium is yellow. Barium is green. Scrotium is red. Magnesium is white. Uranium, oh, you've done it wrong, nuclear. And it's not scrotumanium, by the way. People shopping. A woman, shampoo for dry hair and damaged hair. Man, 6-in-1 shampoo for hair, face, body, carpet, car and dishes. Yeah, that's where I'm at. What air I've got left anyway. There's been lots of memes going round of puppets, Muppets even, being different famous things. And this one made me chuckle, more so because I've actually been on the actual stairs where this was filmed, Nora Batty. So this is Last of the Muppets Summer Wine, and I think they should make that into a TV show, but sadly none of the Americans would get it because they've never had Last of the Summer Wine. Now, I do like a road sign that is very clear on what's going on. Like last week we had a diversion pointing left right in front of a permanent sign which says no left turn allowed. This time we've got road closed here Monday the 13th of June for 15 years. Doesn't get much clearer than that. 15 years. Yeah, if you visit my, if you watch my Peak District video, you'll see that I filmed myself in 1989 on them steps, and also in 2021, was it? Something like that, when I did those videos. China urges people under 50k to 50 kilograms to stay indoors as windstorm hits the north of China. So China genuinely issued a rare warning telling people under 50 kilograms to stay indoors as powerful winds from Mongolia swept through the north, with gusts reaching up to 168 kilometers per hour. Parks and outdoor spots were shut, events were postponed and trains suspended. The oddly specific warning went viral, sparking conversations online. I mean, what is 50 kilograms? I don't know what 50 kilograms is in stones or whatever. Only 15 years, must be doing overtime that. Good going. Yeah, get whatever it is done within 15 years. Maybe it's Wigan. Maybe that's maybe that was the sign they put up when they blocked the road off in order to build the new market hall and complex that they're building. Couldn't write it, could you? Right, here we go. My son asked me what I used to play on the iPad as a kid. I told him I used to talk into a fan to sound like a robot. We all did that. I talked into a fan to sound like a robot. The biggest cabinet in the shop is receiving a well overdue fettling and restocking. Open again from Thursday, Saturday 9 to 4 with loads of awesome new vintage toys in stock. It's Leicester Old Toy Shop and they've been fettling. Dirty bastards. 50k is about 7 stone. Alright, okay, so it is quite low. So it's mainly children then, isn't it? I'm over that, so I'd be safe. Thank goodness for that. I was panicking then. Oh, I've done that one. So that's how much I'm panicking. WWE superstar suffers WrestleMania wardrobe malfunction as she adjusts her top. WWE star Jade Cargill was forced to readjust her outfit during WrestleMania 41 on Saturday night after showing off a little more than the audience expected to see. Well, she's wrestling, probably in a bloody stupid costume, so what do you expect, unfortunately? A full list of 750 schools offering free breakfast clubs from Tuesday. A free breakfast club scheme is due to launch at 750 schools across England. But teachers have warned the government funding will be sufficient to cover the cost to roll it out to all the schools. Really? Where's this money coming from? Oh yeah, they've borrowed £15 billion more than anticipated, on top of all the stuff they said they were borrowing. RAF jets scrambled twice in 48 hours to defend NATO airspace from Russia. The British Typhoon stationed in Eastern Europe were called into action less than 48 hours apart to prevent Russian aircraft from leaving their borders and entering NATO airspace. I must admit, every time I hear RAF jets scrambling, I still think the bloody Phantoms and stuff like that, but you know, grow up, Grandad. They've moved on a bit. Britain to enjoy 3 weeks of sunshine from Thursday and 25 degrees, hottest day of the year. Bank holiday Monday saw holidaymakers quit resorts and snarl up the roads from lunchtime, as up to 8 hours of rain spoilt the end of the long weekend. But Saturday was amazing. I went for a walk on Saturday along the canal. There's a video coming up soon, literally tonight, called Wigan Walks. New set of videos. There's 3 I filmed, and I filmed the last one on Sunday. And I had a pair of shorts on. I'm walking along the canal. I'm sweating like a pig. I had a shirt on and undone all the buttons, but I didn't take it off. It wasn't that warm, but it was warm enough to undo all the buttons. And the following Monday morning, I had my big coat on, my jeans, and I was freezing because it was pouring down rain going to work. Unbelievable. British weather, we love it. No one ever. Descendants of victims of Jack the Ripper have now demanded a new inquest. Ripper researcher Russell Edwards claims Freemasons shielded the killer from police at the time and ensured that he was locked away in an asylum until his death. Well, let's teach you, mate. We can't let him get away with that, and let's get all the Freemasons dobbed in as well, shall we, that were around then. I mean, come on. We've got more important things to worry about, like gangs and horrendous crimes going on around the country. Bunny Trump as accidental snap has President all ears in hilarious Easter spirit. The Orange Man baby was pictured appearing to have a giant fluffy rabbit ears as he saluted the children taking part in the Easter egg roll on the lawn of the White House. And there's a picture there of him. Now, that sniper from last year, he'd have bit them ears, wouldn't he? Well, I don't know actually. Barn door. Yeah. Anyway, world's first AI-powered nuclear power plant, Diablo Canyon, worries experts. AI technology being used to aid the running of nuclear power plant, as experts worried as Trump scraps AI regulation, labelling them as barriers to American AI innovation. So basically, Trump's getting ready to give us Terminators. I don't really see an issue with AI monitoring stuff, but AI should not have the ability to do anything other than warn humans if there's an issue that's developing, and then the humans sort it out. Having said that, many humans are not trustworthy either. The youngest Pope contender from Cristiano Ronaldo, Tiny Isle, given rare nickname. I thought it was Cristiano Ronaldo. No, it's not very funny. Look at that. Adam's apple though, my God. It's bigger than my thigh. Cardinal Jose, Tolito Messenin is on a list of other key figures that have been touted as a possible future pontiff following the death of Pope Francis, aged 88. The problem is, when they pick a pope, they pick popes who were in the 80s and 90s and 70s and... oh, hang up. I wonder where my parcel had gone. It's on its way. Delivered tomorrow. Excellent. So yeah, it's all good, in my opinion, that Ronaldo is going to be the next pope. He's obviously not. Where have I gone? There we are. Bit of Trump. Trump hopeful of Russia and Ukraine deal this week as fortune with the US awaits. Yeah, this is what I'm on about. It's the only person benefiting from this is Donald Trump. He's getting this land grab or mineral grab from Ukraine in order to get peace. And I think Russia want a cut of it, and I'm sure that's what Trump may have allegedly agreed before the war even started. It's my theory. I'm the only person touting it, but I've mysteriously disappeared. Man, you know I was right. Meanwhile, Pope Francis' Easter Monday death is no coincidence. He chose to die today, which is what I was talking about earlier on. Pope Francis' death on Easter Monday has left many speculating that his passing on a religious holiday was no coincidence. and he actually chose to die on that day. I think he was hanging on so he could do, like I say, his last big job for the man upstairs. Doesn't exist. Poor Pope Francis died after J.D. Vance visit, just like Queen with Lettuce Liz. Many are blaming J.D. Vance for the death of the late Pope, with some calling him a walking disease, while others have labelled him a curse, like when the Queen died after meeting Liz Truss. I mean, I don't like J.D. Vance, but I think that's a bit harsh. Dizzy Rascal, I am a rascal, Dizzy Rascal. People call me bonkers, I just think I'm free. That guy. Trained as a plasterer, but he's already forgotten how to do it. Well, that'll be the drugs and alcohol and stuff that he's allegedly possibly took. No proof of that, but yeah, let's be honest, yeah, he probably has. Doesn't need to anyway, he's probably got more money now than he'll ever need. Half of Brits have an ongoing family feud as most common rows unveiled. A poll of 2,000 adults found fallouts have resulted in family members not speaking. 34% of them. Not attending milestone events like weddings, 55%, and severing ties entirely, 74%. I must admit, I come from a very small family. On our side of the family, there's me, my mum, my daughter, and now my grandkids, and that's it. And yeah, I won't say we're close and get on all the time, but you know, we do what we do, but there's no arguments. But people who've got 2 or 3 brothers, sisters, aunties, uncles, oh my God! So when they're talking, it's like they're in a soap opera. Didn't the late Queen train as a plasterer as well? No, a mechanic. She was genuinely. The Queen was a mechanic when she was princess, and she used to go and work on the vehicles in London, the army vehicles and recovery vehicles and ambulances and things at night, in fixing them. She'd give them oil changes and do all that kind of stuff. If you type in Google Queen and mechanic, you'll see absolutely. I mean, whether she trained as a plasterer as well, I'm not so sure, but she definitely was a mechanic, and she could do a lot of her own stuff. So which would be handy because she had all the old Land Rovers, didn't she? So I imagine if she broke down in the middle of Scotland on one of her huge estates on her own, she'd be all right. She'd just get out of the cab, lift the bonnet up, have a fettle inside, get it going again, pop the hood down, and off she went. See, educational. Proof of alien farts on distant planet questioned by sceptical scientists. Me, really? Rival boffins are at odds over University Cambridge revelation last week that claimed a planet 124 light years from Earth was teeming with life after they found gas. But, I mean, isn't one of our planets in our solar system just made of gas and, like, you know, sodium gas, which is basically what farts are. Woman, 90, battered best friend to death with a saucepan over a Magnum ice cream. A woman was arrested and stood trial in court after a bicker with her friend got completely out of hand when she appeared to kill her after an argument over a melted ice cream. Now, I must admit I do like a Magnum, but I can only have the vegan Magnums because I'm lactose sensitive. Would I kill someone over a vegan Magnum? Probably not, no, but I'm not 90 years old and I don't have a frying pan to hand either. A woman who claims she's Madeleine McCann denies stalking missing girl's parents. A court previously heard Polish national Julia Wandel is accused of making calls, leaving voicemails and sending a letter and WhatsApp messages to Kate and Jerry McCann, asking where the body is, probably. Allegedly, obviously. Easter miracle linked to Pope's death as giant cross hovers above the crowds. Hundreds of locals in Mexico stood in the street awestruck at the alleged apparition in the sky which occurred eerily close to the passing of Pope Francis. Either that or it's 2 vapour trails through a cloud. But you want to believe it's a miracle, believe it's a miracle. You know when you're a kid and people tell you what things are called? One of my friends told me that vapour trails were called flids. So I referred to them to that until I was about 30, and then I got corrected that they're actually vapour trails. But if someone tells you something, that's what they're called. Boffins fear Trump's proposed cuts to NASA could stop us from finding aliens. The Orange Man Baby could slash the 2.7 billion from space agency's budget, a cut of nearly half, making boffins concerned that there may not be enough funding to find aliens. Well, I mean, they just need to look in the White House, don't they? Lizard Man's there. Allegedly. Pet parrot stuck up a tree after a week because it's never been taught to fly down. Distraught owner Lindsay Fairbrass had made multiple attempts to coax Marvel off a branch 100 foot in the air, including frying up some of the bird's favourite bacon. But the bird's having none of it, doesn't know how to come down, just keeps going higher and higher and higher. Baby, it's a living thing, it's a terrible thing to do. The parrot stuck in a tree. Anyway, moving on. Orange chemicals spotted exploding out of tanker as emergency services swarmed in. The suspected leak believed to have come from a vehicle, and specialist teams were deployed to bring it under control. While members of the public were advised to avoid the area. No need to panic. It's just a delivery of Donald Trump's skincare products. Kate shares video of Prince Louis as he spotted a spitting image of brother George. The Wales family marked Princess Louis' birthday with a portrait showing his gappy two front teeth and a playful video of time spent in Norfolk as a family over Easter. I must admit, Prince Louis does make me smile, but they'll beat that out of him soon and he'll just be as miserable as the rest of them. Air fryers make you horny, as Boffins claims it floods feel-good chemicals. The excitement you feel when using your air fryer isn't... What? The excitement you feel when you're using your air fryer isn't just in your head, it's in your whole body. Oh my god. Snippy. Oh my god. It's in your whole body, a top professor has confirmed, in a totally weird confirmation of sexual issues. So when you turn on your air fryer, you're turning on yourself. Who knew? Major UK high street toy retailer to open 2,000 new branches inside Tesco. The Entertainer has announced to bring a selection of its key toy lines to over 2,000 Tesco Express stores, extending its successful partnership with the UK's largest supermarket. It's shit. They don't do Lego anymore. They don't do Funko Pops anymore. They do what I call knockoff. Quickly, yes, it might be, and I never realised. Who knew? I might have to say, oh, it's a bit woody in here, isn't it? But maybe not. But yeah, the Entertainer is the worst toy shop ever. They literally got nothing in, and they got like knockoff versions of famous games. So instead of Buckaroo or Scrabble or stuff like that, they've just got this really cheap, nasty, horrible knockoff version. I can't imagine it's going to last long, unless Tesco just don't care because they don't make enough money from the toys anyway. Maybe they were stolen too much or whatever. But no, it just seems a ridiculous thing that they've done. Freddie Mercury's family in £3 million battle to get his belongings back from his ex. Freddie Mercury's family are still locked in war with Queen star X as they try to get back possessions which he left to the woman he dated, who also cared for him before his death. So many questions, not enough answers for that one. I'll let you fill in the blanks. Scientists, for fuck's sake, stop it, please. Stop digging 15 million miles into the ice core. You need to get off YouTube and do only air fryers. Well, I could be the naked chef. There you go. Oh dear God. Images no one wants. Only air fryers. I like that. They got a fan in them as well, haven't they, to be fair? The air fryers, that's why they work. So, only fan air fryers. There you go. Anyway, yeah, scientists, stop, digging out all these bacteria from like millions of years ago that we've got nothing to fight against and just wipe out the entire population of the planet. And for fuck's sake, stop doing this. France's nuclear fusion reactor sets a record for energy output, becoming the hottest place in our solar system for 5 seconds. And you're like, what? the hottest thing in the solar system, so hotter than the core of the sun, hotter than anything in the solar system on Earth. How do you keep that contained? How do you keep that within something? If it's the hottest thing ever, it would literally just melt everything. Stop it, scientists. There is no need. No need. No need. Just leave it be. Stop drilling into the ice core, permafrost and all that. Stop bringing things back to life that should be dead. And stop making things hotter than the sun. Oh, there we go. Village idiots. So we've got the village people, very badly photoshopped with the faces of, just noticed who's the cowboy. Rachel from Accounts. Sorry. Yeah, as the village people in all their costumes. Hotter than only air fryers. Jeez, that's odd to be fair. Yeah. Just been said this. Imagine you're a vegetarian and pick up the beef. Some mornings I like to pop into Tesco and switch the cardboard sleeves around on these things just for fun. And you've got a vegetable lasagna and a beef lasagna, both of which are, yeah. That's cruel, but sometimes you've got to be cruel to be kind. Be fair. Yeah, no, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to say I thought they changed the. It's not vegan, so it's not as bad. Just reminds vegetarians what they're missing. China may build an army of Terminator-like soldiers, official US study warns. A Skynet-styled dystopian end to the world may well be upon us, as the Chinese military is reportedly developing AI-powered super soldiers in a race to develop bioengineered humans. Because I think we talked last week about experiments putting stem cells into computer systems. Could possibly go wrong. Was that this week? I might not have done it yet. Space joyrides for famous should be banned after Katy Perry's vanity jaunt. Katy Perry and Co.'s very short-lived vanity jaunt into space has led Greenpeace to call for space joyrides for the rich and famous to be banned altogether. It wasn't overly expensive either, was it? $17,000, was it $170,000? Which, in the scheme of things, isn't a lot. Victorian diseases that toppled empires is now antibiotic resistant, say experts. Typhoid is caused by a type of bacteria found in human waste and sewage, and is still a major problem in some parts of the world. But now the bacteria is becoming resistant to antibiotics, which means it could affect the whole world. So basically, wash your hands when you into the toilet and don't eat poo. There you go. Oasis fans conned out of £2 million to scams since the reunion tickets went on sale. Lloyds Bank has received more than 1,000 claims since tickets went on sale for gigs this summer, with Oasis fans believed to have been scammed out of more than £2 million overall. And Oasis don't get that money, or do they? Yeah. Right, here we go. This is a very serious question that all parents fear, but we do have to answer. My son asked me, where does poo come from? I was a little uncomfortable, but gave him an honest explanation. He looked a little perplexed and stared at me in stunned silence for a few seconds, and then asked, and Tigger? I don't care if it's true or not, it's just genius. It made me chuckle. Not as much as a 6-year-old chuckled at this picture. 5-year-old even. Today my 5-year-old laughed at this painting in the middle of a museum for like 6 minutes. And it's just hilarious. The irony is I know somebody who looks like that. So it's even funnier. The front of a liquor store in America, and they've got the metal posts there to stop the cars ram raiding the shop, and every single metal post pretty much is at an angle. Liquor store, off licence. And then someone's put underneath, at least they would be responsible in sending their wives instead of drink driving. Oh, shots fired. And then, I've done that one. Oh no, major retailer to close UK high street stores in a week's as future looks bleak. The future of the Poundland brand remains up in the air. However, the immediate future of 3 huge branches has been clarified, with closing dates announced to the public, which is not good. So yeah, there you go. I've gone back to the cat because it just amuses me, this, especially because I can do this live, which is pretty cool. So it's a car, it's a cat, it's a car, it's a cat. If you can see a car, you're left-brained. If you can see a cat, you're right-brained. Or should that be whatever? No, if you can see Pope Francis the 15th, you're left-brained. If you can see Donald Trump, you're right-brained. Anyway, it brings us smoothly to breaking news. So this is the news that has been breaking whilst I've been talking about the news. God, I mean, it's thrown together this programme, but it seems to gel like gel on a jelly thing. Anyway, what's happened? Metrolink search launch for new operator of Greater Manchester's tram network. I've never used it yet. Princess Anne is in Turkey on behalf of the King. Savers race to cash in on top ISAs ahead of Reeves' tax grab. Major France fashion chain that once had a store in every town set to return to the UK High Street, and that is Topshop. It's been bought by someone else. Is it? No, it's not. Debenhams has been bought by Boohoo, hasn't it? Anyway. Starmer, Kyiv attacks are a sign that Russia's Putin is aggressor in the war. My God, I tell you what, we want the old Keir Starmer back. This new Keir Starmer, with clarity bursting out of every pore of his body. He now knows what a woman is. And he says that Kyiv attacks are a sign that Russia's Putin is an aggressor in the war. Wow, realisation on this guy is unbelievable. The Daily Express has set a poll. Should Ed Miliband be sacked? Yes. UK hits 100,000 electric cars charger milestone as petrol stations disappear from roads. No, they don't. We need to stop diagnosing each other over, oh, it's gone, over autism. No, we need to stop diagnosing each other with autism and ADHD. We've all got autism. If we didn't have autism, we'd all be boring. It'd be like Stepford Wives. Trump says he has no allegiance in the Ukraine-Russia war and its own deadline on a peace deal. Teenager killed and 3 injured in a Nantes school stabbing. Nantes school, I said that wrong. That's in France, isn't it? Kemi Badenoch on reform being vindicated in the trans war and the mounting Tories need to climb. But she did accuse Keir Starmer in the House of Commons of not having any balls, which I thought was brilliant. Drone-killing soldiers join medieval Swiss guards to patrol Pope's funeral. What? UK households urged to stockpile food and water now for Russia attack. Okay. Keir, oh, he was doing so well. Oh, Keir. Keir said today that Britain will accelerate push to net zero. What an absolute plonker. 2 days ago, Starmer said a woman is an adult female. 16 hours ago, making plans for Nigel. Tense Tories wonder whether Badenoch has what it takes to see off reform. But she keeps talking about balls, she'll be alright. Deadly Victorian disease which wreaked havoc is becoming resistant to NHS drugs. Scrambled. BBC TV licence fee may be axed for millions as demand for major change. Just get rid of it and make them advertise. Pay for, get advertisements on there. There's advertisement. You pay for Netflix, you get adverts. Why the hell should we pay for BBC? I do like BBC, some of the stuff they do, but the other stuff they do, I don't. The news and everything. Starmer, energy security is national security. Yeah, build nuclear power stations. Come on. Jamie Vardy to leave Leicester after 13 years at the club. Unilever accesses 6,000 jobs as it eyes a sale for ice cream business, which over here is called Walls. Turning point in Ukraine war. Germany gets involved. Poundland's closing 3 more stores within weeks, including one in Liverpool. FIA statement explains Max Verstappen's double penalty decision. What? We've all been eating chocolate digestives wrong. We eat them upside down, everyone knows that. I'm going to have a look at this one though. So what's this about? Poundland closing stores. Because one of the big bosses of Poundland apparently was in the Wigan Poundland earlier on yesterday. Was it today? Yesterday. Today. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Does it say where they are? Oh, London and Gravesend. Okay, so Liverpool, London and Gravesend, so not Wigan, we're alright, yeah. Right then, so that is it. We've had a lot more viewers, and they've stayed on for longer as well. Everyone in the UK stockpiles food. We've got a 9-year-old can of tuna in the back of the cupboard. We'll be fine. That's what you need for a nuclear war. It's not going to be a nuclear war. It's going to be shutting down all the computer systems. War. So anyway, yeah. Big shout out to everyone who's got involved. So Angela O'Kane, Stephen, Kelly, and Rollo the dog. Rollo. I hope you had a good poo, Kelly. I hope it was a good one. And Quick Lee, who is a new regular now. Congratulations. So that's all good. How long have we been on for? Just over an hour, I think. So it's hour and near enough 10 minutes. So that's pretty good. So yeah. Thank you very kindly. It's been fun as normal. I mean, we do cover some serious subjects, but we also have a bit of a giggle while we're doing it, and that's the best way to do it. Making light of stuff later on. So anyway, body beep. Oh, I got wind. Didn't realise that was gassy. I will be seeing you. Until next time. Bye, T. Bye.